Okay. So this is the neuroscience of the thank you protocol. I just changed the title just a little bit because um, it is the gravity of gratitude, basically. Essentially, it is the gravity of gratitude that is in that how this thank you thing started to make sense to me is what I will be sharing with you. That it's the neuroscience because the Lord in its infinite mercy has made me to go into neuroscience field and say, okay, this is your assignment. You do this. So I did the assignment and to the best of my ability, and he said, oh, now that assignment is stopped. Now let's do this one. So this is all I am in his control. He's sharing with me and he's telling me what to do next, and I am just opened up to his grace. That's all. So the neuroscience of thank you protocol. That's the and I'm sure most people have read this book, which got written through me, but not by me. Uh, John Bloomberg asked me, Shekhar, can you before I write the foreword for you, I would like you to tell me in three sentences what is this book about. I mean, that I had the beta version, the other Word document in front of me. This I told him. I said that is a tough one. So in three sentences, only then I will read. Only then I will write the foreword. If I can get convinced in three sentences, then I'll do it. This is just like elevator talk, right? From fourth floor to fifth floor, you have to. That much time is left for me to say that. So I said, John, this book got written through me. I read the book and I was transformed. So he said, it did the work, right? I said, yes. I said, then I'm reading it and I'm going to write the foreword. That's how it happened. So the first person who got benefited the most is me. And that's why when you get benefited by a particular concept of by a particular book, you do not think that it is you who have written it. It is not possible. You cannot be transformed by your own work, right? Which means therefore that this is work of Hanumanji Maharaj. So he has done it, and definitely it has to transform me then, right? So if I was to write a book, I would never get transformed. So that way. So initially, the very this whole this whole katha, I would say. This is the katha actually, or vyatha, for that matter, my vyatha. Okay. So my dad said the root cause of all the problem, be it health related, relationship related, career related, or money related, can be traced back to only one cause, and that is lack of gratitude for what you already have been blessed with. I mean, it it was a slap from all sides. How many slaps I got? Ill health, definitely relationship related. Second slap, career related. Oh, biggest slap. Money related, even bigger slap. So these are my challenges, right? These are all my challenges, all of them. And eventually, I remembered my dad said it is because of lack of gratitude for what you already have been blessed with. So what have you been blessed with? I had a whole list of what I have not been blessed with. And my father said, no wonder you are attracting just that lack. If you are not thankful for what you already have been blessed with, and you always find flaws, complaining, criticizing, and condemning throughout for what you don't have. In fact, you have it all, but you are seeing as if you don't have it. So you will keep attracting the lack all the time. Lack of whatever, lack of good health, lack of relationship, lack of career, lack of money. This is all you will attract because you are not thanking for what you already have been blessed with. Oh gosh, that was heavy, heavy slap. It is not possible to get a slap than your dad, which does not make sound, but it gives you so many slaps, and that's it. That was my because the first chapter of the book already talks about how my dad was. That was my initiation into gratitude, but do you think that was way back. I don't know, 40 years ago, something like that. So I got the initiation into gratitude field, but I was never, I would say, it did not make sense to me that I just saw it and I just did my own thing, which causes self suffering in the most, right? So I was born in Prayagraj, where Kumbh Mela was this year, and my mother used to go to temple, and my father used to take her to the temple every day. It was a small temple close to our home, and I used to follow them every day. So that was my regular uh, going to the temple. But I never saw my dad get inside the temple. So I thought probably he's guarding the shoes and all that chappal things like that outside. So in in northern India, you'll if you keep your shoes somewhere else, at least it not you will not be able to find them after some time. So it's probably stolen or something. So I thought maybe dad is protecting those shoes there, and that's why he's not able to come. But then when I got a job, first job in National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences in Bangalore, and I was teaching psychopharmacology there, and as I was teaching depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, all these neuropsychological diseases, and the mechanism of that. That's why the psychopharmacology department was there. I was involved in. So I was not happy there, sort of. I'm not happy in the sense that uh, see when you get a job which 300 people applied to for the 109 people to be qualified, and only 32 were called for interview, and out of that one person gets it, you are becoming arrogant that day. You when you get a job where 32 people were interviewed and you are the only one out of them who got it. I mean, my ego was on the seventh heaven. I mean, I'm the best, right? There's nobody better than me. That type of attitude, arrogant attitude, very egoistical attitude was dominant there, extremely dominant. So, with that dominance of attitude, obviously you brush your superiors, right? The head of the department is not very happy with me. He thought he saw potential in me, but he was always trying to stop me from getting maybe even better. So I was kind of wanting to do research there, but never was able to do. So I was unhappy that time. So my father, I came home and my father said, "Have you taken vitamin G complex?" I said, "What is that G complex?" Never. I took B complex because I'm deficient in vitamin, all the B complex vitamin. So I would take that, but not G complex. What is that? Well, forgot about it. Same evening, I went to the temple again. In Bangalore, temples are so beautiful. They are just awesome. And they have the slots to keep your shoes, no? Different slots. So those slots, but still my father is not going inside. I mean, there is no such thing that the fellow gives you a coupon, token or something like that. When you come back, you give the token and he gives you the shoes back. But still my father is not going. I asked that day, when we came home, I asked, Dad, why didn't you go to the temple inside? I have been watching you since childhood that you never go inside and you always are standing outside. What is that? Why is that? It's okay. Well, since you have asked me and your mom has been asking me the same question for quite some time, I would answer. Please call your mom so that I can answer to both of you. So, and I said, okay, I'll do that. So I called my mom and he said, why do you go inside the temple? What is the purpose of you going? He says, well, that time I was not happy with my job. So I said, I'm going to ask the Lord to make Shekhar's life easier. He looks like he is struggling with this. And I want to ask for your health, for my health, and everybody's health and things like that. I'm just, this is all that I go for. I said that my dad said that is the very reason I don't go inside the temple, because people who are asking, there are at least 100 more of them, just like you. There are hundreds of them asking, and this is typical mother's thing. All the mother in the planet, every mother in the planet asks God for their own, not for themselves, but for their family and for their nearby and kith and kins and children, things like that, husband, all that. They are just keep asking for the Lord. All the mothers in the world, they not one single, not one exception. Said that is the reason I am not. I'm afraid I might get sucked into asking when I am not done thanking for my own breath right now. In one moment I can thank for my only one breath, and the next moment comes, then again breath. Then another third moment come, then the third breath. I'm still not able to find out time for thanking so many things God has given me so far. He has given me so much. I have not been able to thank God for you, for Shekhar, for his brother, for the house that we live in, for the trees, for the rabbits, for the flowers, for so many things. I have not been able to thank God for that. And in that, after he became very emotional and started to almost tear up that time. And he said, "Oh God, please forgive me that I will be the only person in this whole universe who had not been able to thank you for so many things that you have given me. I don't know how to thank you. I have no idea how to thank you for so many things when I'm only busy thanking my breath." That was such a pin drop silence that moment. And my mother almost prostrated, sashtang dandavad, like floor, laid down on the floor. I said, and bowed down to my dad. I said, I am so sorry. I have been judging you all my life. That you are an atheist, you are a non-believer, you were just like, I don't know what will happen to us. Sometimes I used to pray for you also. कि इसको बुद्धि दे दे, let him have some sense in his head to go and ask you for forgiveness. That type of. I am so sorry. And my dad was, he was at a very different level, altogether differently. He was just thanking for the breath constantly. And in that, I mean, I had converted that his dhanyavad to thank you here. That's a dhanya. He used to do one thing. He used to deep breathe, dhanya and vad. That was his mantra. I mean, simple thing where it is just not totally different. Simple things which is made him a person who never fell ill. He was the person I have seen my whole life, not even once, till his last moment. He died without a single disease in him. Not a single disease. Not once I have found him sick. So I asked him, Dad, what is the reason for your such fantastic health? He said, that's for you to find out. I don't know. I am never upset. I am never have anxiety. If I have money, I'm happy. If I don't have money, I'm happy. I mean, he's all. I've never seen another happy man in my life. All the time happy. And if he was to laugh, one block, 3 blocks away, you can hear, or Mayanil Saab is coming from there. I know. Oh, how do you know? He's laughing from there. So he was at a pure laughter all the time and belly laughter all the time. He used to be very, very happy. So blissed out person, you call it. I said, what is the reason that you, it is for you to find out? Now that is that time it got initiated. To say, why is this person not having diseases? Why is he happy? Is it because he is doing that? That question started thinking. That was a seed when that this whole book was sown. The content of the book was sown, but I did not pay attention to what he is actually doing till late, very late in life. 30, 40 years later, I have understood, oh my goodness, this is what he is. So if you want to know where that change happened in me, really, I paid attention to what he was saying at the time when my lab was getting closed. That is the time when this that his teachings, I would say, his teaching, and he's simply talking to me, not teaching any. He never taught anything. He's just talking about something in his life, what he feels like it. And if you can take lessons out of it, that's fantastic. I think a book will that book is definitely, as Shruti ji said, and Sujana ji also had talked about it in various other places, that this book is transformative. Yes, it is transformation, and at the point where it transformed me, you will know where I got transformed. So, I'll talk about that later on some other time. So when I was in absolute misery, I called him from here and I asked, Dad, this happening. My visa was challenged. I was in J1 visa on extension, and there was still something is not right. Nothing is going right that time. Everything is, whatever I touch has to get destroyed. Whatever I touch, nothing will work. If I touch a car, it will have a flat tire that day. Something or the other will go on. Nothing right. I said, Dad, have you did you thank did you I said, what for? My misery? Should I thank them for misery? I said, are you breathing? I said, yeah, of course I am breathing. I said, can you please thank your breath? So I said, okay, how do you do that? Then he made me sit on the chair. I said, do sit on the chair and back straight, arms up on the lap, palms facing upward, eyes closed, head tilted back little bit. Exhale completely and say mentally thank when you breathe in. Deep breathing you do. And do the Ujjayi sound when you're doing that. Ujjayi means little constriction of the throat. So take a deep breath and mentally say thank for, say what for, to what? To existence, to that breath itself. Just say thank you for the breath. Thank, hold for a while. He said 7 seconds. And then when you exhale, say you. So, and again hold for 7 seconds. Again inhale and say thank and you. Thank, and this is continuously 7 times he said, told me 7 cycle. And suddenly my entire perspective changed about life. So what I learned later on is this thank you protocol has two major components. One is the gratitude component, and there is a conscious deep breathing component, which is basically pranayam actually, right? So when these two components are fused, it's a hybrid fusion happens, just the pranayam will do something. Just the gratitude will do something. But when you do this, then the chakras activation by default. You don't even have to do the Kundalini yoga to do this. It just is so non-threatening, so simple. In especially for the householders. Householders is the best. This is the best stress. There is nothing. You don't have to do a whole lot of. Of course, I was involved in Kriya Yoga also. That also helped me. There's a third component which I would say very strongly helped me also. But that doesn't have to be. My father never practiced any other yoga. This is, of course, he did yogasan and all that. That was a different process. But then he had this gratitude and the conscious deep breathing component, which is the pranayam component, which is what has caused all the activation of the chakras by default. By default. So actually, the pranayam, actually the gratitude component is basically activating your Manipura chakra, which is a fulfillment center. Manipura chakra, if you can, gratitude component, that is where it activates. And my father said that if you activate the Manipura chakra for some reason, for whatever reason, however, you can do Bhujangasan, you can do Balasan, Bhujangasan combined, you can do Surya Namaskar, you can do Ustrasan, or you can do Anjaneyasan. All these asanas activate the Manipura chakra. Once you activate the Manipura chakra, the two lower chakra get automatically activated. And if you continue with that, with along with the pranayam, then what will happen? The other Anahat chakra and Vishuddhi chakra also get activated. So if you activate one chakra, five you get the benefit of activating five chakras. This is the power of Manipura chakra. Manipura chakra is the father of all the chakras. We consider Agnya chakra as the father, but I think Manipura chakra activate the Agnya chakra, and activate their activation of Agnya chakra takes over for a higher flight. That's what it is. And then when you continue with this gratitude component and the pranayam component, and you sit down for counting seven breath, and then you 70 breath, and then 700 breath, and then 7,000 breath, and I don't know after how long, you don't lose count of it, and then you get into the meditative component. That is the real juice of this protocol. Very powerful, very powerful. And that is exactly what is mentioned in in the last line of the chapter 9 uh, in the book. That chapter 9 has been one of those most read chapter, reread, and underlined, and almost by 100% of the people. Almost. If they have not, they will go back again and they will have another message coming out of that. That chapter has layers after layers after layers. First, in the first reading, you will get some superficial thing. You read again, you will get another deep. You go level another deep, another. It is really, really miraculous chapter, and that is why I think I did not write the book. That was the main chapter, which I feel I have not. I don't know how that chapter got written. Anyway, now there is in psychology. This is a concept in psychology actually, but I have modified it to make the best in this protocol, right? So there are frequencies. Frequency means energy. Energy means how euphoric you feel, how blissed out you feel. If you are at the level of consciousness, which is zero state here, you are very blissed out all the time, absolutely happy. And all these are different um, energy levels. I would say, as I last time I remember, I used last year somewhere. E equals h nu. H is Planck's constant, E is energy, and nu is frequency. So if you have a high frequency, you have high energy. Planck's constant being constant, so that's what it is. So anything is energy only, right? Everything is energy. So when you are enthusiastic, very excited, visit positive expectation and belief, optimism, hopefulness, contentment, all these things are very high energy really. Gratitude is when you have zero wants. There is nothing to want in life. There is no desire. To be desireless is the ultimate gratitude. This is what it is. So once you are here, once you are at this level of energy, it is very easy to jump from here, this energy to consciousness space. Very easy to jump into it. Suddenly you can it's just almost like a same resonant frequency just goes inside that. And then there are some lowest energy vibrations, like for instance, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. This is what I was teaching in NIMHANS, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences. I was talking about all these things and how this drags you down. If you are here and if there is no hope for you to get out of this, it will be disaster. This is where I was when I called my dad. I was having no visa. I mean, tomorrow I somebody can come and say you are staying beyond the time that you are supposed to. You are evicted now, right, from this country. That was my state and horrible situation. Very high insecurity, almost guilt and unworthiness. Is this all I have done my life for? What is it all about? There are other triggers of unworthiness that I felt. When you read the book, you'll know that I had got so many great chances, but every chance, as I said, whatever the greatest of the greatest of the greatest chances I get in life, and when I try to take it, it becomes like disaster. Like I was supposed to work with supposed to work with Back then he was Nobel laureate, but I got visa refused 3 times. So I could not work with him. But I had to go some other mechanism to get back. And when I approached him again, he said it's a 6 year wait. And I said, oh God, then it's missed out. So you have, so that resentment about missed out opportunity, that resentment about whatever I could have done, I could have, would have, should have, that those kind of thing happen, and that puts you in the past all your life, and you cannot move on. You cannot move on. You don't cannot let go of that past for some reason, and it is so difficult to let go. Then you have all these things happen: rage, anger, revenge, discontentment, blame, worry, doubt, disappointment, overwhelmment, you name it, all junk happen. And when you do the thank you protocol, suddenly you jump from the lowest of the low frequency into this particular frequency. This is a quantum jump. You don't have to, it doesn't go from 23 to 22, 121 and up like this, but it goes from 23 to 0 directly, or 1 maybe. And from there you can jump here. At this level, you attract a lot of good things. At this level, you only attract these things. At this level, you attract great things. So once you understand the mechanism of what this does, then manifestation is very, very, very easy. But you have to have that. I don't know how do you, it is not easy, to be very honest with you. It is not. I know what I'm saying. How can you jump from here to here? What is that which makes that belief happen with without the evidence of it? Faith is to believe in something when the evidence is not there, right? That is faith. And for scientists, we don't operate on faith and belief, right? So very tough to dissociate from what you have been doing throughout your life. And this is you're talking about. He said, no, no, my dad said he dropped a pen. He said, Einstein drops a pen, or you drop a pen, or a small 2 year baby, 2 year old toddler drops the pen, it will fall on the floor, right? It do you have to know by gravity? Does you have to believe in gravity? No, it is operating on a higher law. It does not take your approval, my dad said. I was so happy, miserable that day. I say, why? How can it not take my approval? I'm big time, right? How can it not take my needs has to take my approval before it falls on the floor, right? No, no, no. Dad said no. It is operating on a different law. You don't even have to. You just do the protocol, and it works. Whether you believe in it or not, it does not matter. You don't have to believe in it. All you have to do is take a breath, say thank, hold for a while, and say exhale. And while you are exhaling, say mentally you for a while, and then hold 7 seconds, and keep repeating this process. It'll work. It'll do its job. It is beyond your understanding. But no, scientists, they want to know what it is. Understanding has to be there. So anyway, what happens when you are in the red zone? This is what happened. Sujna will know all this good stuff. In the hypothalamus, there is some kind of a. This is the basis. When you are in the red zone, hypothalamus secretes this hormone, corticotrophin releasing hormone, inactivates the pituitary hormone, pituitary gland, from where adrenocorticotropic release hormone comes out and goes into the bloodstream and activates this adrenal cortex sitting on the medulla, on the kidney, top of the kidney. This is the adrenal cortex, and that fellow releases cortisol. This cortisol is so poisonous for the body, it is so poisonous for the immune system, it is just bad, bad, bad deal. Now, it's not like it is most unimportant thing, because it has helped human beings stay alive. Because if the cortisol is not released, you will not be able to run up the tree when the lion is coming and chasing you. And he is a faster runner than you are. So that cortisol creates energy, such high intense fear and fight and flight, that somehow the muscles and mitochondria and everything get fired up, and you can do the impossible during that time. But you have to run. and do something impossible to make that cortisol be used up for right purposes. And after that, that happens. This so, but the thing is, if it this is normally, normally you have normally you have a feedback regulation by increased cortisol, right? This is a release. There is another negative feedback, so it stops the release of cortisol. However, if it is constantly fear, stress all the time, what happens? This feedback regulation gets stopped, and then what happens is this is what happens. The first target of cortisol is immune system. It destroys the immune system. It makes you weak from within. Now what you do? You might have all the big time muscles, and you might be a macho man, but doesn't cut it because it has destroyed your inner system, the immune system, that which is those small body cells are there, in the blood cells are there. They are rotating around in the body, tackling different pathogens from air and breathing and eating and all that stuff. So once this is destroyed, then it leads to inflammation, leading to digestive cardiac disorders, autoimmune dysfunction, cancer. Which is basically this cancer is because of this increased cortisol in the system, and you never took care of it, and that's what caused this. Neurodegeneration, this Alzheimer, dementia, all this junk happens because of increased cortisol, increased stress. Metabolic disorder, thyroid dysfunction, weight gain, neuropsychiatric disorder, all this stuff starts. And there are, like, if you search PubMed, two keywords even, out of this, you will find literature. You have no idea how many million papers in each word. You will find targets. So this is what happens. Any malfunction in this HPA, the hypothalamus pituitary axis, will cause these disorders. It is just a matter of time. This will happen. And currently in the world, this is happening. Large scale. More than the pandemic, super pandemic is happening. Almost alternate homes. Even sometimes in a row, this is happening. So that's what it is. So my dad said, if you are feeling any of the green feelings, not feeling any of the green feelings, or you are feeling unfulfilled in life, you need to thank more and more for what you already have in life. And when you are done thanking, thank even more. So that's what it is. So being thankful for whatever you have, that can be anything. Anything. Pen you have, okay, please, I am thankful for my pen. I am so thankful. There are a lot of people who don't even have this much even. I am grateful. So when you're suddenly that transforms you from within. You suddenly and immediately experience a shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system activity. What is this parasympathetic? This is fight and flight. When your pupil dilation, when people are dilated, you will experience this sympathetic nervous system, which is like fight and flight and let's kill somebody, that type of a thing, or let's run somewhere, or let's run away from the situation. Let's not talk to anybody, or if we talk to somebody, let's abuse somebody as much. This is what is basically sympathetic activity. Complain, criticize, condemn. This is what it is. But the moment you do the breathing, the pranic breathing, or the thank you protocol for seeing, it suddenly changes. Suddenly change. You will experience no matter how much stressed you are. If you take deep breath 7 times and say thank for whatever. And actually, my dad and my Guruji also told me, whenever challenge comes in your life, whatever the challenge is, you did not call it, right? It came to you. So just assume that it came to you from existence to remind you that you need to do the thank you breathing or thank you pranayam. Whatever challenge comes, just as think that the existence has sent that challenge to remind you you are of your real breathing process, this thank you protocol, you're not observing enough. So you start that. That which means every problem will become a solution now because it reminds you of that solution. Just have a single challenge, whatever it might be. Financial challenge, all the seven challenges I reminded you, say the money challenge, relationship challenge, this challenge, that challenge, all the challenge. If that, if all those challenges in any shape or form comes to you, they are coming here for you to tell you you need to go back to the basics. You need to, basics means do the thank you breathing. Inhale, say mentally thank, hold, and exhale and mentally say you, again hold and keep repeating this. And suddenly you will find solutions. And if the worst of the worst problems can be, you can convert that into solutions, then other solutions are easy because of that. So anyway, the what happens when you are actually this ventromedial prefrontal cortex, this is a place where you mothers or ladies put bindi here, right? That is the place where just behind that is the prefrontal cortex, ventromedial prefrontal cortex. So when I give something to somebody y- and somebody is receiving, both the receiver and the giver have this activation going on because you are giving it from inside. You are already, and when you are giving, the other person saying thank you, right? And you are already feeling gratitude because somebody is giving it to you. So both generate the same thing. This is like ventral view, and this is the side view here. That's all. This is a ventromedial prefrontal cortex, and actually this area, the red line area, this whole area, all the area in front here, this is the only area that will be evolving in future centuries. Humanity, this is the only area which will get evolved. After that, there is nothing else for human evolution to happen. Everything is perfectly fine. This is the only thing which will evolve. And there are cultures where this particular thing is made to be burnt by the wrong thinking and the wrong practices in different part of the world. You will see the challenges that we face these days. I'm not going to belabor on all that, but recent happenings in Bharat is whatever that has happened is because of this whole lobotomy they have done when they were small kids, and then they pick up guns. This particular area is non-functional in those areas, people completely out. So they will drag humanity to dogs, but humanity has to evolve somehow or the other. And only when you do this thank you protocol, it or you bow down to your parents, you bow down to the deity down somewhere and do Mahamudra, all these things, this area gets evolved. So, future generation, if this is not getting evolved, you are self destructing yourself. And there are cultures which will be destroyed by self destruction. They are planning self destruction despite the world progressing so rapidly. So, that's what I was telling. So, this is the area which I have talked about. Now, what happens is there are some techniques which uh, by non-invasive mechanism. But you don't know. I said, how do you know this area gets activated when you do the gratitude, when you do the thank you protocol, or when you do gratitude meditation, not thank you protocol, just gratitude meditation. You're feeling good about somebody has given something to you, and your mom is taking care of you. Those kind of things that you really feel good about. You feel thankful. Very. How do you know that this is the one reason? So there is a technique called blood oxygen level dependent fMRI. So bold fMRI they call it. So fMRI means functional magnetic resonance imaging. So what happens is blood has hemoglobin, right? And hemoglobin is the one which carries oxygen. And if the versus, sorry, hemoglobin which has oxygen attached to it, and the hemoglobin, just plain hemoglobin. So if you take the ratio of that, there is the hemoglobin per se has iron in the core, in the center, right? And oxyhemoglobin also has iron in the core, but they have a different bipolar bipole movement, right? So in the presence of magnetic field, they will spin differently, and the ones which you spin differently, if you can have the if if you have a way to measure that spin in which the oxygen content is more con- attached to the hemoglobin, then that hemoglobin will shine up here. All you have to do is change the magnetic field just a little bit, and then during that time, wherever there is more oxygenated hemoglobin, that will show the signal. So this is a beautiful. This technique was developed by Japanese scientists, and it has been I think, one of my most favorite techniques ever. So what happens is gratitude rewards our brain and body, right? When you experience the feeling of gratitude, whether you are receiving or giving, your brain releases a combination of dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphin, commonly known as feel good neurochemicals, which also boost your energy and immunity. So why you feel when you are blissed out, why you feel higher, when you feel light, suddenly you feel very light, not loathsome and lethargic. You feel light because of these chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, and all that. So Glenn Fox, he is a very good friend of mine, and he has done other studies. I asked him, "Can I take your pictures and put it in my book?" He said, "Please do anytime, whatever." But then when my publisher, I said, "You know what? This is published. This Glenn Fox has given the copyright to those publishers, and when you publish anything taken from that journal, they will have conflict of interest, and you will have conflict of interest, and they will say, well, you are using it for for profit's sake and all that, so that you can use this figure to give a talk, and no problem, because that is scientific knowledge and enhancement. But when it comes to book, then it is profit. So then you will have to share the profit with them and say, don't worry about it. Don't just keep a simple profile. So you can give the reference that this is. So these pictures I have not added in the book, right? But I have given the reference. So that's why sometimes the talk is sometimes more important uh, than the than the book. But book gives you a lot more of different stuff. Okay. So anyway, so these are the regions. Oxytocin coming from pituitary, the release of dopamine coming from all these mesocortical pathway, and ventromedial cortex. All this stuff is coming from there. So the entire brain is bathing in some great hormones which are so nice, and they make you feel uh, so bliss is a chemistry actually. Happiness is a chemistry, and so is depression. So once you understand the neurochemistry of it, you will be, yes. There is another thing, right? Whenever somebody is in constant gratitude, all that for a long period of time, you will see this middle frontal gyri. This part of it. So have you seen whenever we do Shastra Puja and all that? they do this tapping on the side of the heads. You remember? So that side of the head is basically insular cortex, which is situated in this middle frontal gyri, this one. So the insular cortex is what allows, uh, basically it is love and compassion, and forgiveness, and all this is a outcome of deep compassion, right? Because you don't hold on any grudges with anybody, so you love that person anyway despite all the junk. This is the sign of evolved prefrontal cortex. Person who is loving, who is having no resentments, person who let go of easily. And forgiveness is one of the forgiveness exists in where? Muladhara chakra. This whole center is connected to Muladhara chakra, because it is the element. Forgiveness is earth element. Earth is the most forgiving thing in this universe. No matter how much we have destroyed the earth so for so long, it has never done anything wrong to us. It is just like mother. Mother, we have done so many. In when we were child, we have done. I mean, we have done bathroom and this that on her lap only. So, but still she forgives you. She is such forgiving person. There is nobody equal to mother in this universe. Just number one. Mother is number one. Okay. So and now when you have always thanked, which means Manipura chakra getting activation of the Muladhara chakra. You see this constant activation of Manipura chakra causes activation of Muladhara chakra. And what is this Manipura chakra? For fulfillment. When you feel fulfilled, you are actually very, very thankful that time. So that's what it is. This is another insular cortex, which is love and gratitude. Gratitude and love compassion. Meditation shows increased bold signal in right insular cortex. Gratitude and love and compassion meditation. This is basically Buddhist methods. Basically, Tibetan Buddhist. They have this. This particular study was done in Madison, Wisconsin, and by these guys. And they, I think, Richard J. and David Perlman. All these guys are basically Buddhist, and they have spent several years in Tibet and studied deep meditation techniques, and then they have come back to University of Wisconsin to do the studies and stuff. So this is the insular cortex is the zone where love and compassion exist, and this particular thing is connected to what? Anahat chakra. Remember, so gratitude one hand is Manipura chakra, and forgiveness is root chakra. Uh, Mooladhara chakra. And now there is another one coming up here, which is insular cortex, which is connected to heart, Anahat chakra. So, see, when my dad told me this thing, I don't know, 40 years ago, I had no interest in what he was saying, but there's something he was saying, and it is scientifically validated in 2009. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I say, now you see the our brain on gratitude. So as I told you, this portion, this whole portion is the one which is this portion is going to be the brain will be the only thing that will evolve as humanity will evolve further. And those who have not have this evolved will perish in its self-destructive manner, not because somebody else is perishing them. They will kill each other and then die. Only these people who have this developed will be allowed to move on because evolution is very unforgiving. It will destroy survival of the fittest. This is the one which is the only fittest thing that will ever happen. Not muscle growth, not height, not logic, nothing. This one. This is your CEO of the brain. And if this is not developed further, this is dormant yet in very, 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 very many people. This is dormant. This is waiting to be fired up and get activated. Reduces fear, of course, fear and stress, which means the role of this particular thing, limbic system, is going to be taken over. That limbic system will become vestigial after some time. Just like appendix became vestigial, the limbic system will become will be gone. Increase in dopamine, serotonin. This same region, this is causing all good stuff. And wires new neuronal connection, which is basically the bliss center. The anterior insular cortex and posterior insular cortex, these are the areas of bliss down the road. I mean, this is what it is all about.